Here's a fun book, guys. It's a book that I really think every real estate agent and lender need to read. It's specifically early on in your career. It needs to happen. It's written by Gary Keller. He's the owner of Keller Williams Realty, but he's a business owner. And a lot of the concepts that we do in business have come from him. But I'm going to take this book and I'm going to combine it with the 12-week year. I'm going to combine it with the 12-week year to allow you to be able to see the exact plan you need to be working on every day. I'm going to combine them together to make it so simple for you to follow that it's a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. And I'm going to use my Google Docs because what I've done is I've put it together, combined it together, modified it, made it look good, added more stuff, take some stuff away, highlighted some stuff, bolded some stuff to really help you to focus on this, to focus on the game plan. I'm also going to utilize some other tools I have too to show you how to just tie them all together. Easy, okay? But we all know that real estate is, if you say I am so I what do you do for a living? I sell real estate. If you say that right now, I want you to turn your brain off right now. Stop saying that for just a moment. You are a realtor. I'm not taking it away from you, but you're a business owner. Today, you are a business owner. I want you to think like a business owner. Okay, you think like a business owner that you're the CEO of your company and you've got to put together your business plan and work your business plan. You are not a real estate agent right now, just right now, just for the moment. You're a business owner. So let's put this plan together. Here we go. So like I said, I tied it together, right? And I named it the one thing breakdown, okay? Just broken down, make it easy, okay? So the key concepts here, okay? Just remember, when it comes to running a business and being a business owner, as the CEO of the company, you need to specifically have everything lined up and then you're going to work it. Here's the focus question. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Unnecessary. So the one thing that I can do, what's the one thing, if I was to ask each and every one of you, what's the one thing that you love to do in this business that you know that if you don't do it, that the whole thing's gonna fall apart? That's the thing. That's the question. What's the one thing that you know that has to happen as the CEO of your company to run it? Okay. The one thing that I can do that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary. This helps you to filter through the noise, okay? Because it's so loud in my office, in my house, in my life. In your life, it's so loud. I need to block out that noise and identify your highest leverage activity because it's so loud. It's just plug the ears. The domino effect. Gary talks about this. Success is building sequentially by knocking down the right small domino first. You create the momentum needed to topple much larger goals over time. I always say it's like this. It's like a tire stuck in the mud. And initially it's just stuck in the mud and spinning. And then over time it starts spinning and spinning and spinning. You're able to get unstuck and get going. You're just giving it gas and it's just spinning. That's the domino one. If you're able to get that first domino moving, all the dominoes take off. Okay, so there's 6 lies. Okay. Common myths. Everything matters equally. Multitasking is a bad word. Get it out of your mind, get it out of your business. Multitasking is not a good word. Okay, the other bad word or bad phrase is there's not enough time in the day. There is. Okay, there is. All right. This applies to your real estate business. Okay, in real estate, it's easy to get distracted by shiny pennies. It is. It's very easy. Marketing, administrative tasks, things that need to happen. For most real estate agents, lead generation is the absolute one thing that makes every other part of the business possible. There is no other part of the business without lead generation. You got to have leads. You have leads, everything else starts to happen. That's kind of the domino number one. We're going to break this down into the 12-week year concept. Instead of the book, the one thing talks about 90 days. We're going to change it to 12 weeks. And basically, we're going to call it a sprint. because it's got major urgency, like it says right there. Much higher sense of urgency. In a 12-week cycle, every week is essentially a month. Okay, so every week. So I want you to think about this, okay? A week right now, starting Monday, let's say this coming Monday to the following Monday, that's a whole month of work. That's a whole month. Okay. Every week is a day. So an entire week is actually a day, right? So we're breaking it down. Every day counts as a week of progress. So in 12-week cycle, every week essentially a month, and every day counts as a week of progress. For real estate agents and lenders, the one thing that drives everything else is proactive lead generation through direct conversations. Okay, let's talk about the domino for a second. Success in this time frame, you must ignore the lie of multitasking and that everything matters. You must identify one activity that if done consistently for 12 weeks will guarantee your closing targets. It's going to guarantee it's one activity, one thing, okay? Just one thing. I asked three people this morning, Billy Garcia, I asked Jeff DeLeo, and Teresa Carranza, two lenders and a real estate agent that are both, all three, just so you know, they all coach with me every Wednesday. Okay. You know, I have coaching clients, paid coaching clients. They all coach with me on Wednesdays, and they're all doing really well right now. You know it. And I asked all three one question. I gave them five seconds to think about this. I said, I want you to think about the one thing that if nothing else happened and you just focused on that one thing that you would see the most success. What is it? Billy said cold calling. You all know he's good at it, right? He's good at cold calling. So Billy said cold calling. That's his one thing. He notices a huge difference if he doesn't hit his numbers. And his numbers are between 20 to 30 a day. 20 to 30 cold calls a day. That's his numbers. Jeff said handwritten notes to his past clients, his SOI, people he's sold homes to, he notices a big difference when he doesn't hit that. If he doesn't send out a certain number of handwritten notes each week, he said he sold two in the last month, I believe, from handwritten notes. It brought up conversations, it brought up connections, it brought up opportunities, it brought up referrals. He said it was referrals. So two closings from Jeff in the last month from handwritten notes. That's the one he cannot do without. He's got to do it. Teresa said connections with realtors. It's her biggest thing is she struggles if she doesn't have conversation. She's got to have conversation with real estate agents, or she just feels like she's completely lost it. So she needs to have those. So those were their three. Those were their one thing. Each one of them picked one. The one thing they can do that if that's all they did, they would see success. They would see it. Okay. For real estate agents, okay, here it is. The database deep dive. Your one thing is your database. Instead of chasing new cold leads, your 12-week sprint should focus on meaningful conversations with your sphere of influence. So when we say your database in this concept it's talking about, it's not talking about a CRM. Okay, usually I talk about your database being a CRM. No, your database is your database of people. It could be every phone number in your cell phone that you know and they know you. You probably have a lot in there that you don't recognize the names, or you recognize them, but you can't remember when you talked to them last. But if you think about their name, you remember their face. That's an important phone call. That's included in your database. That's somebody that you know by name. They know you by name. If you ran into them, give them a bro hug or a hug. I love you, miss you, haven't seen you in a long time. That's we've talked about that before. That's your sphere of influence. If you know them by name. So that is what we're talking about here. For real estate agents, that needs to be a huge thing. And that could be your one thing. So Billy's is not that. His is cold calling. Everyone's could be different. This example saying that's a big one. To me, that's my biggest one. You choose yours. I'm just giving you a suggestion. This is my biggest one, is my sphere of influence. It's my database, my past clients, my aunts, uncles, friends from high school. I love reconnecting with friends from high school, college, you name it, whoever they are, they're your people. your action steps for that is to commit to 5 to 10 real estate conversations per day. It's not telling you to do 20 like Billy. I think you should be doing 20 like Billy. But it's not telling you to do that. It's breaking it down to a simple, easy task of just 5 to 10 real estate conversations per day. Real estate conversations, a two-way conversation. Okay. The goal is to uncover immediate needs or referrals by providing value, such as quick equity, which is, I call it an annual property analysis. You've heard me say that many times. That's a quick equity of their house, a market report. So the goal is when you make these calls, so I'm making it easy for you. Call your SOI 5 to 10 a day. And the goal is to have annual property analysis or an update on the market, something like that. Okay. For your results is by week 12, you'll have a pipeline of warm prospects that makes next quarter's admin work significantly easier. That's the total result. So what do we got? We got who to call. We got the action step to do it every day. And we got a result we're shooting for. If you don't have a clear path, SMART goals, if you don't have a clear path and it's not measurable, it's not going to happen. That's easy. For mortgage lenders, if you're a mortgage lender on here, this is what I have them focusing on. The action step is a face-to-face meeting per week with top producing realtors. Now, who are we focusing on? All realtors? No, we're focusing on top producers as lenders, okay? Top producing realtors. It trickles down. Yeah, I see Blanca, top producing realtor, is going to be using Jeff DeLeo or Teresa Carranza. I'm going to be using them because she's using them. Success leaves clues. I'm going to use them. Action step, get face to face with them. Goal is to identify their biggest friction point in lending process. What's the thing that the agents are just running into problem after problem? What's the friction point? Could be branding, marketing. It could be faster pre-approval workflows. Result is to move from being a vendor. I don't want to just be a vendor. I want to be a strategic partner with this agent, with all these agents. Now, you could be doing the same thing as an agent over with other vendor partners. You want to be strategic partners with them where you're now working side by side. I'm part of a BNI group, business networking group, and that's the goal inside of there is that we're all strategic partners. We try to refer them all. I refer another BNI person out yesterday, a strategic partner. I want to strategically work together to grow each other's business, help each other do more. The 12-week time block, protecting your time block for both agents and lenders. This means dedicating the first 2 to 3 hours every day, every work day, whatever your work days are, to one thing before checking emails, social media. I mean, that's a huge fail, is we get caught up in the emails. We get caught up in the reactive work. It's not good, guys. It really will get in the way. It'll get crazy in the way. All right, so it gives the 411. It's basing that off of the one thing, which the 411 is great. Okay, it's great. It's 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. You take that weekly goal. It's the number of conversations needed this week. How many conversations do I need to have this week? 25. Double that. 50. Okay, so it's 5 a day or 10 a day. 25 or 50. So what are your number of conversations? So that's week one. That's in a week. Okay, what's the goal to blow it into a month? The number of appointments set this month. So the conversations are here. So that's something I can work on. That's something I can do. I can focus on the small peanuts. I'm just going to try to call. I'm not going to just try to call. I am going to call. Sorry. Fail. The try needs to get out of your vocabulary. I am going to call 5 a day this week. And the other one is, so we're talking 4 weeks. Okay, so 4 weeks, one number of conversation needed this week. Okay, the number of conversations. Number two, the appointments that I'm going to set per month based on this. And 12-week goal is the total number of new contracts signed. So we're breaking it down. That's the lag measure side of things. This is how we're going to change it into the 12-week year. I'm going to show you that here in a second. First, The hyper focused, get hyper focused. We're going to talk about the 80-20. The 20% is where we focus the majority of our, not out, our time. Improving your weekly 20% requires you to ruthlessly eliminate the 80. Ruthlessly eliminate the 80. Those are the tasks that get in the way. Okay, those are, you got to ruthlessly eliminate that. There's an easy way to do it too. For real estate professionals and lenders, this means moving from busy work, organizing files, scrolling social media, clearing your inbox, to business work. Remember, we're not realtors right now. We're business owners, CEOs. So we got to remove the busy work and focus on our business right now. So we're focusing on business work. And that's the proactive work. It's face-to-face appointments, voice prospecting, voice-to-voice prospecting, face-to-face appointments. Identify your highest leveraged activities. The first step is to isolate the specific tasks that move the needle. For an agent, your 20% is lead generation, lead follow-up, and going to appointments. Write down everything you do in a week. If a task does not directly lead to a yes from a client, it belongs in the 80% bucket. So write down everything you're doing per week, per day towards your business, growing your business, business owners, CEOs, growing your business. What is the 20%? What is everything I'm doing? And is it going to bring a yes? If not, it needs to go in the bucket, that 80% bucket. Okay. Build your bunker. Guys, this is probably, I talked to Jeff DeLeo this morning. He said that his best place for him to work is at the coffee shop because he sees other people there with computers open and working, and it makes him want to work. Now, there's a kiln building in Idaho. There's a room, RUUM, over, and those are places where you can individually rent office space, I believe, by the hour. Like you can get it down to the hour and rent it by the hour. And why do people like those places? You know what a kiln is? A kiln is a big stove. You do a clay pot, you put it in there, and it comes out beautiful, right? So that's kind of the thought of the name, the kiln, is all these businesses go in there. They're in there to work. Guys, it's a problem. So they've built offices around it. They have treadmills with computer mounts on it. You can be on the treadmill working at the same time in this place. They have cycling rooms where you can literally get in there and mount your computer and you're on a cycle. You're working out while you're focusing on work. It is a problem. It's a mindset problem. It's a problem why businesses fail. This is a place where you go in to work and you come out. That's Jeff's, is the coffee shop. He goes there to work. He likes it. Mine is a little different. I need an enclosure. I need a place to hide. If I work from home, I struggle. I do have some quiet spots where I can shut doors and lock myself in. I've created those for my time when I do have to work from home. Otherwise, I love coming to the office here. I've got another one over in Meridian. I've got one in California that I like to shut the door and work. And people know that when I'm in there working, what's Sean doing? I mean, Monica knows because she's seen me in there. I'm talking, I'm working, I'm making calls, I'm doing things, I'm doing what I need to do. That's me. Okay. Take it or leave it. It's mine. That's my bunker. What's a bunker? It's a place where you go to where you cannot be interrupted, a private office, a library, even in your car, it says. Those are important places where you can get work done. Store provisions. Have your lead list, your phone and your CRM ready before you start. That's a huge one. Because if you say that I'm going to start my call, I'm going to start my working as a CEO from 9 o'clock to 10, don't start at 9 o'clock turning on your computer. Okay. You start at 8:30. You start at 8:45. And that way everything's up and ready to go by 9 o'clock. Okay. Start on time. Stick to it. All right. Enlist support. Tell your team, your family, guys, tell your family, hey, I'm unavailable. Look, you can go to work somewhere else and they're going to make you do this stuff. Or you work for yourself and you let your family know, hey, I've got to work. I'm going to be locked in the room for a while. I've got to put my head down. I'm going to do this every day for 2 hours, 3 hours every day. Okay, I'm going to lock myself in the room. I'm just working. You've got to your family's going to help you. Your team is going to help you. They're going to help you. They're going to secure your time. So enlist support. They're going to support you. If you don't say it out loud to people, then expect to get the same back. Nothing, no support. You got to speak. We are communicators. Voice to somebody, enlist support that somebody's going to hold you accountable. Hey, I'm going to be here at 9 o'clock. Just hold me accountable. If I try to step out and talk and chat and get into conversations, I'm failing. Tell me, hey, get your butt back in there. You got to get working. Enlist some help, guys. You people will help you. If you want it, you've got to want it. All right. Enlist support. Focus on conversation, on conversion, not just volume. To improve the quality of your 20%, you must transition from just making calls to having meaningful conversations. Okay. What does that mean? You're transitioning to actually having a good quality conversation with somebody about real estate. So you're improving that conversation. You're thinking higher, you're thinking bigger level. How am I going to have these good conversations so I can have better calls, making better calls, having meaningful conversations? Here for agents, instead of generic check-ins, call your top 50. Now I've talked about the buckets before. My biggest fans, that's your top 50. That's a bucket. Focus on that top 50. Focus on them. Make sure they're getting the calls. So that's 5 a day you can do right there. What about your second bucket? That might be, others that maybe you haven't talked to in a while and you're bringing that one. That could be bucket 2. That could be another 5. So now I got 10. So I'm putting people in certain places. You're controlling, but you're controlling the conversations, making sure they're good, they're legitimate. I'm going to click over to this one right here. This is the chapter 5 through 10 of the 12-week year. And those of you that are involved in our book club that we've been talking about doing, we're in chapter 5 to 10 this week. And I broke it down. I made it very simple. Chapter 5 is, I broke it down and I separated them so it's easy to understand. The predictable emotional cycle of change. You often start with uniformed optimism. So this is the fail of what causes you to fail. If you want to know what it is that's causing you to fail, I'm telling you right now. It's called the valley of despair. That's what it is. It's informed pessimism. So you start with uniformed optimism. You're excited knowing that you're doing something new. You're taking on a new track, a new pathway to succeed. You're excited about it. But what quickly happens is it transitions to the valley of despair. You lose hope. And then a whole dang week went by, and you're sending me, your coach, an update and saying, I failed this week, and this is what I'm going to do different next week. But then what happens next week comes around? No, this is what happened. I did good on Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday was a fail. Thursday, Friday, I ended up having to take my kid to here, to there, to there, to there, and I didn't do it. I failed. So next, guess what? I'm going to do it better next week. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to change it. It happens. It's the valley of despair. When the work gets hard and must push through to reach informed optimism and success. That's what I put. So work gets hard. You must, okay, not and must. You must work through to reach informed optimism and success. What does that look like for you? How do you get yourself out of that funk? Do you get yourself out of the funk, or do you just fail and just another week goes by, another week goes by? You've got to have your out. You got to have your pinpoint, your button. What is it to before it gets too late that you're choosing to do to get yourself back on track? Or is it just week over week over week of fail? If so, find it now. Find it now before it's too late. And make sure that you have multiple weeks of success. And that way you see the result. Remember, everything you do today is going to affect 1 to 3 months from now. That's the type of business we run here. Everything you do today is going to affect 1 to 3 months from now. So if I fail today, 1 to 3 months from now, in theory, you're not going to have anything that day. All your successful conversations you have today, a whole week goes by and you think, I didn't get anywhere. Why am I wasting my time on spinning my wheels? Another week goes by, nothing happened. All these conversations, I had 20, 30, 40, 50 conversations and no new escrows. You're thinking small peanuts. Another week goes by, same thing, another week goes. The top producer knows that after 4 to 5 weeks of sticking to these goals, you start to see results. And if you quit at that point in time, guess what? 1 to 3 months from now, you're back to ground zero again. That's why we create our systems and we work those systems and we stick to those systems, knowing like a top producer that a whole month from now to 2 months from now, I'm going to see results from what I'm doing today. So I got to keep it up. But what did happen? Here's the way to transition it. Like Jeff sending out all these handwritten cards to his past clients. He knows it's not going to be instant. But what happened? Last month he closed he not closed, but he locked in 2 new ones off of referrals he got from those handwrittens from the month prior. Okay? That's it. He stuck to his goal, and he knows that's important to stick to that goal because he knows that when he doesn't do it, nothing happens a month or 3 months from now. So you got to stick to it. Okay, stick to it. Chapter 6 talks about the core concept of the 12-week cycle. That's a big one. Understanding the core concept explains how to shorten your extension window, okay, to create the focus and urgency required for high performance. It's your execution window, guys. It's the execution. Execution is the huge thing, okay? You got to have an idea person and an implementer person. You can be both. Or you can have someone help you with the implementation, one of the two things. But the execution is huge. You got to execute on it. Chapter 7 is going to jump into the discipline of priority. This usually means narrowing your focus to the one or two most critical goals. Boy, that sounds like the one thing book, right? What are the most critical one thing that you can work on this week to make sure the week is good? And it may not be the best. It may not work out that you actually get something this week, but if you don't continue that one thing, you know that you're not going to see the result in the end. Okay? Not going to see the result in the end. You can go to work for someone else and make just above minimum wage, 20, 25 bucks an hour maybe, and you're going to make maybe two or three, $4,000 over a month's work. Or you can go work, get two or three people out of it, make $10,000, and you just doubled your income if you would have went and worked for someone else. It's the execution. Execute on those goals. Chapter 8 is going to jump into build that tactical plan. Now, you guys know I'm all about tactics and tactical. Sticking to the tactics is what keeps you safe. Sticking to the routines that's going to help you have those successful outcomes in the end is what's going to help you. So the tactical plan emphasizes that the plan is only effective if it includes specific, measurable actions. That's where I'm going to show you something here. This is a scoreboard, and I've got it under Jeff, okay? If I can't measure out my success, and in my scoreboard, I have to have lag measures. I have to, because that's how I can see if I'm winning the game. If it's pink, that means I'm losing the game. Okay, I was supposed to hit 50 conversations, I only did 38, so it's pink. If I hit that goal, that would have been transitioned over to green. Okay, but it's not. It's pink because it's less than 50 in 1 week. Okay, 1 week. I want to add 4 new people to my database. Okay, is that pink or green? It looks pink. Why? Because I only got 4, not 5. I was shooting for 5. Video calls, that's a good lead measure. These are different lead measures you could be doing per week, but you got to time block them and do them. Past clients. How many new past clients did I check in with? Handwritten notes for Jeff. That should be at least 5, right? Now, the goal is to get appointments set. That's another way I know if I'm winning the game. Am I winning or am I losing? So if I'm not tracking it each week, a good top producer does one of two things. They either have a whiteboard on the wall that they're able to tally and keep in under control, or so it's either the whiteboard or the computer screen up. I have 3 screens here, 2 big ones and a small one. And I can have my whole scoreboard, that's this right here up in front of you, up on here, and I'm literally keeping a tally. This is Hugo, our ISA. He's in here right now. He doesn't know I'm on this call looking at him. He doesn't know, but I can see what he's doing every day. I can. And he's keeping a tally. You see how he's got it highlighted? He's tallying his calls right now. Now, with him as my ISA, I call him my client concierge. He's supposed to be shooting for 150. He knows I want to see 150 a day. He's supposed to be shooting for 150 calls dials a day. That's dials, okay, not contacts. And these are the contacts, so he can see if he's winning the game or not, right? Very easily trackable. It's showing him, it's measurable. He can measure his results. Okay, he can measure it. So you see, I see he's in here right now. That's what you need to be doing. That's part of it. That is right there. It's the measurable actions, guys, that lead you to your goal. You got to be able to measure it. This moves, so chapter 9 jumps into moving from planning to actual implementation. I was talking about the difference between implementing and the ideas. You got great ideas. You're getting coached right now on what to do. It's time to implement it and put it to play each and every day. 10, specific skills needed to maintain that 12-week cycle. Okay, this is, let's see, you're struggling with the value of despair. Okay, you're failing up here in your current production cycle, or should we jump straight into building a tactical plan for your 12-week year? Let's build it. Time frame. Lead indicators. These are the daily and weekly actions you control, like the number of calls, dials, handwritten notes. Lag measures. These are the results you want to see, like signed contracts or closed escrows. Scoreboard, a simple pass fail week. Simple pass fail week. I'm going to jump into my coaching platform real quick and show you a couple of coaching. Look at my password. You can't see it. We're going to jump into, Billy. We'll jump into Billy real quick. Okay. Here's a metrics. Okay. Now, as you can see, if it's green, remember, it's good. If it's red, it's not. He's dialing. He's 25 up there, 24. His goal was 20. And every day, every time he's hitting the goal, he's blowing through it, blowing through it, blowing through it. I'm going to look at one of his past ones. So here's a couple of his past metrics. This is what it looks like when you coach with somebody. You get metrics like this to see if you're staying on top or if you're failing. Expired for bonus. So he got 0 on that day, 16 there. Okay, he's less than 20, so he had to pick it up, pick it up. So each week I go over this with him and I say, okay, what happened? What's doing? So as you can see now, he's not doing it much anymore because he knows I'm going to hold him accountable. Good coach is going to hold him accountable. But this was his last one. This was January to March 31st, first quarter. And look at him. Look at his numbers. Bam. That's a scoreboard. That's that scoreboard it's talking about right here, the scoreboard. Simple pass fail weekly metrics to track if you're completed or plan tactics. If you completed them, did you complete your plan tactics or did you fail? Week over week, it's easy to fail, but it's also easy to succeed if you don't let the valley of despair get in the way. Example of growth. If you look to increase your inventory, your 12-week tactical plan would look something like this. Okay, tactical plan week 1. Remember I told you I'm going to give you the specifics here, okay? Week 1 tactics. Contact 50 real estate conversations with people you don't know. Conduct 50 conversations with people you don't know. Reach out, and then week 2 tactic. My next tactic is I'm going to reach out to 10 past clients or people in your sphere per day, okay, per day. Week 3 tactic, host one mega open house with door knocking components. Okay, what does a mega open house look like? I've coached on that before. You can find it on the Trusted Agent YouTube page. If you want it, you can email me, Sean@carsregroup.com, and I'll send you the recording of it. That mega open house is like an event. It's really cool. 5 days a week. You're going to do a lot of door knocking, but you're only going to spend about an hour to 2 hours a day doing it. Day 1 is you're doing more than a mile. You're doing a mile up to 3 streets where the open house is going to be at. A mile away up to 3 streets. And you're door knocking and you're simply saying this, hey, we're doing a special open house over on blah, 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 blah address, and we want to invite you to come. Will you come? Also, if you know of anyone looking to buy or sell and invest, do you know of anyone looking to buy? You want to get the will you come and get a yes or no answer. Do you know of anyone wanting to buy or sell or invest that might be interested in this property? Usually family, friends, neighbors usually know somebody that wants to move. So we're trying to sell this house for them. Do you know of anyone? Okay, that's a mile away. Number 2, day 2 is Tuesday. You're going to actually hit the neighborhood. You're going to say, hey, Jan and Jeff's property over there at 1235 fake address. We're going to do a special open house this weekend. Do you know them? No, you don't know them. Oh, you do. Good friends of yours. Great. We're going to do a special house this weekend. We promised them that we would get out here and ask, does any of the neighbors know? Do you know of anyone looking to move into this neighborhood that maybe that we can get over here to the open house this weekend? By the way, if you don't, Have you thought about what do you love about your neighborhood? Well, what is something we should be telling people about this neighborhood? Find out what they love. Oh, what the goal is to say, oh, so is there anything you don't like about it? And then you find out what they don't like. Okay, what would be the perfect neighborhood for you? Great. Have you thought about looking at what that looks like to move over there? Because I know a couple of those neighborhoods. I can help you. Let me do an annual property analysis. Let me do a value for your home for you right now. Now I'm picking up a listing and I'm getting more people over there. Number three would be for sale by owners and expireds. Go door knock them and invite them. If they're for sale by owners, ask them, hey, you want to do an open house at the same time? Or, maybe we can send people back and forth. Expireds. I know you had yours on the market before. We're doing a special open house for Jan and Jeff's. Have you thought about putting yours back on the market? If so, maybe we can, share open house people. We'd love to share those with you. If you thought about selling it again, what's the reason why you didn't sell? All those questions. You know why it didn't sell. What would you do different? What's the perfect realtor you're looking for? What do you want to see in your realtor? Those are all the questions you ask expireds. What do you do on Thursday? Thursday, you call your vendors. Friday, you call your SOIs. You're inviting all these people, same script. That's a mega open house, guys. It's a door knocking extravaganza. And you're going to talk to 60 something plus people with only 2 hours of work a day, less than 2 hours on some days. It's less than 8 hours in a week. What job can you go get that's going to work less than 8 hours a week, talk to 60 people, and potentially make you $40,000 in 1 month or more? There's not too many. Okay. What do we do on that? So that's a big one. Okay. Schedule the week 4 tactic is schedule 2 listing appointments. Okay. So we go on a schedule. We're working on scheduling 2 listing appointments. How do we do that? For sale by owners and expireds. Talk to Billy Garcia. He'll tell you. It's easy.